A quick note before the video begins, this video will just use stills so we can avoid any stupid copyright shenanigans. Originally, this video had clips from the anime in it, but it was blocked worldwide, so I had to rework it and just use pictures of the show. Sorry about the inconvenience. Hello everyone, today we're going to take a look at the first handful of episodes, or episodes 1 through 12 specifically, for Monster Hunter Stories Ride On, an anime based on Monster Hunter. I played through the Monster Hunter Stories game on 3DS, and if you watch my playthrough of that, then you'll have an idea of what to expect in terms of story. However, there are quite a few differences between the game and the anime, so there will be some spoilers in here for the anime and the game, just so you're aware. So right from the get-go, things are a little bit different. There's a flashback to 12 years ago, and we see a village burning from an enraged Naga. There's also a shot of our main character, Lute, as a baby. Lute and Navi are already acquainted in this episode, and we're also introduced to Lilia and Cheval, who is not maniacal yet. Just as the game starts, they're looking for an egg, and they're getting close to this forbidden area. Tomorrow is their bonding ritual where they get an egg or a bonding stone, and they'll become full-fledged riders. Lute wants to find his own egg, though, and that's why he's in this forest. So an Arzuros appears, obviously a gold crown size because this thing is towering over everything. It chases them around a bit, and our heroes manage to escape. They go a little bit further into the forbidden forest because Lute is positive he could sense an egg up ahead, whatever that means. I think we all kind of know where this is going. They come to this giant stone slab, and there happens to be an egg near it. Now, I thought this was kind of weird because this egg is obviously really old. It's kind of mossy, apparently, and even Cheval points this out. He's like, dude, I don't think you could hatch this egg. It's obviously dead. But Lute says that he could feel the monster inside of it, so. Of course, the egg hatches and a baby Rathy comes out, or a Leolas, as it is known here. The Arzuros comes back to taunt our heroes because Lily is carrying some honey, and Rathy comes in and fights and beats the crap out of this Arzuros. This is where we kind of see some strangely animated monsters fight. That's one thing you're going to have to get used to. The art is great, for the characters at least. It's really awesome and detailed, smooth, but the monsters are all animated in 3D. The CG is kind of jarring when you compare it to the characters, especially when the characters are riding on top of the monsters. But this is how the entire show is, so it's just going to have to be something you get used to. And that's basically the first episode in a nutshell. Now, probably the biggest complaint I have about this show is the pacing. From episodes 2 through 11, there is hardly any development. It's just a whole bunch of filler. Episode 2 isn't as bad, I guess. There's a Tigrex that comes during the kinship ritual, and we learn that all the adult hunters are incompetent. One of them rides in on an Aptonoth, which I thought was pretty funny. I mean, who uses an Aptonoth to fight a Tigrex? You'd think the guardians of the village would not, get destroyed by a Tigrex immediately, but Rathy comes in and he ends up beating the snot out of Tigrex, and then Cheval finally hatches his own egg, which is a Velocidrome. We do get a little bit of backstory here. That's nice to have. There's a little bit more character development for everyone. Cheval is always so insecure about himself. He's constantly doubting whether he can accomplish anything, whereas Lilia sees this guy hatch an Aptonoth, and she's like, nah, I'm out. I don't want to be a rider. I don't want a chance getting an Aptonoth. When the rookie riders go into the cave to finish their ritual and purify their bondstones and become full-fledged riders, we're introduced to Simone, who is from some weird organization that I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know how to say this or if it's some sort of weird translation error, but she's cool, I guess. She ends up saving Lilia from an Eodrome even after she gets poisoned. And then Lilia basically falls in love with her. I'm not joking, she legit falls in love with her and wants to follow in her footsteps. In another episode, the village releases the Tigrex they captured earlier, and they lure it back to its mountainous habitat. But then we briefly see the evil Nargacuga, and it turns out that this Nargacuga is roaring and sending strange monsters out of their habitat and towards Hakun village. For some reason, Lute charges the Tigrex to try to lure it back to the mountains, but he stupidly doesn't have any plans to escape after the Tigrex is chasing him. He's just not very smart. That's something you'll come to know about Lute. Roberto, who was briefly introduced earlier in the episode, comes in and saves him and then cuts off Tigrex's tail. No blood is shown, though. This is very obviously a show for kids. Roberto was on a hunting mission to kill Tigrex. And that's generally a theme for a lot of these first few episodes. 95% of the runtime just seems pointless, and it drags on like crazy. It's so frustrating. The worst episode so far, in my opinion, is episode 8. It's called Nephi Ruin in Love. A merchant and her feline visit the village, and Nephi Ruin immediately is just completely smitten. He's just utterly at the whim of this girl feline. Nephi Ruin suddenly decides he's going to leave the village and marry this cat. And then the last 5 minutes of the episode, this other cat's like, yeah, sorry, I have a boyfriend, and Nephi just stays at the village. Like, what's the point? Why do we need to see this? This doesn't offer any significant developments at all. I guess a lot of these early episodes are supposed to flesh out the characters and introduce them, but it's mostly focused on the secondary characters that they just feel so one-sided that it's a bit underwhelming. In my opinion, the first few episodes of a series should really try to set the stage for the first arc, the first, major story points, and not show off all these little side stories that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. There are a smattering mentions of Frenzy in here, and how it's getting closer to the village, and this impending doom sort of thing. And this all comes to a head in episode 12, where we finally see our Naga attack the village. The adult riders are immediately knocked out of commission in typical fashion, so our little baby riders are the last defense, I guess you'd say. This was actually a really awesome episode, though. The riders go to bury the Naga and they think they kill it, but in true anime fashion, sudden plot twist, and the Naga burst out from beneath the ground and wreaks havoc on the town. This is where we see Cheval's mom killed, but the circumstances are a little bit different compared to the game. In an earlier episode, Cheval gets a Raytheon egg and he leaves it in his house. Cheval's mom goes to get the egg when she realizes the town is in danger, but it's kind of bad timing on her part because she gets to the egg and she's like, yeah, I saved the egg, and then the house just collapses on her and it kind of kills her. So the first 12 episodes cover about 5 hours, probably a little bit under if you remove the intro sequences, but I can't help but feel the series starts off very underwhelming. Aside from episodes like 1, 2, 11, and 12, it's honestly just not very engaging. There's a little bit of character development, but it doesn't amount to much since it's mostly for characters that don't play a huge role so far. I'd say if you wanted to watch Monster Hunter Stories right on, that you should probably watch episodes 1, 2, 11, and 12 to start off. Keep in mind, I'm only covering these first 12 episodes here, but 1 and 2 provide a decent introduction to all the major players in the game, and then 11 and 12 give additional information on the world, and then the destruction of the village. I've already watched a couple extra episodes past episode 12, and I will say it certainly picks up. It kind of realizes what it did wrong, I think, and it sort of picks up the pace of the episodes. But this series does not have good first impressions because you have to put a lot of time into it to get anything out of it. Have you seen the anime? What do you think? Am I just being a grumpy old man, or do you feel the same way that I do? Let me know in the comments. And of course, thanks for watching. I'd also like to quickly say that the Monster Hunter Amino app is currently having a grand festival to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. They're having a few competitions, including solo hunting, duo arenas, fan art, and mixed set creation. This is really an awesome community, a great opportunity to get involved with other Monster Hunter fans. If you're watching this in the future and the festival is over, no worries, you should still check this place out because it's always active and they always are having fun events and discussions. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to subscribe for more Monster Hunter content, and I will catch you later. Peace.